Hi everyone, you're listening to the Paranormalcast with Enfield and Sally Morgue'n. We're taking a look at the paranormal news around the world this week with sightings of a strange humanoid creature in the deer hunting woods of northwest Pennsylvania, a particularly haunting sight of some black-eyed children, and the haunted toaster, which some of you have probably heard of already. I'm Lee Enfield.
And I'm Sally Morgue'n.
And this is the Paranormalcast. Okay, the first piece of news we've got here is the story of a strange humanoid creature which is spotted in the woods of northwest Pennsylvania. I presume if you Google it or YouTube it, there is YouTube footage, but it is just one photo that they've kind of analysed a few times over.
Yeah, it's a picture that's been caught on a deer cam, or a trail cam as they call it. Apparently, we're not quite sure if the name Peter Duffy is the guy who caught it or if he's the person who put it on the internet, but it's the name connected. Mm-hmm. And what it is a picture of a deer staring straight at the picture, possibly photobombing, I think, in this case. And in the background, what looks like a mix between E.T., a zombie, and a ghost laughing.
It's an eerie-looking creature, alright. My first guess was, when I first saw it, I assumed it was going to be some kind of chupacabra type setup there.
That kind of thing.
But it certainly is creepy looking. I mean, it's a weird old photo for sure. The fact, what is eerie about it is something that's always disturbing is when the spirit or the creature that's captured in a photo such as this is when it seems totally at home and completely nonplussed and not bothered at all about the fact that it's being caught on camera or it's used to the surroundings. That's what makes it unnerving, I think, is when you're seeing normal surroundings and then there's something else you aren't usually aware of seeing it as usual surroundings as well.
No, I completely agree. It's it looks quite at home, but whatever it is, it looks malicious. Whatever it looks like it's laughing, but it doesn't seem to be aware of the fact it's on camera or the fact it's the deer's there. It's just it's been caught. It's a little bit transparent. So, I'm not sure if it is or what it is, but you can see the tree either through it or in front of it. It's a bit of a weird one.
Right.
But it's definitely behind something, so you can't see the whole thing. You can see probably from like the shoulders up. Imagine like an evil E.T. is the best way I can describe it, but it looks like the back of its head is missing from whatever it is.
Or it's got a very small skull.
Yeah, it's a very strange looking creature. I can't...
So, the story behind this is these guys went out to do some deer hunting, to do some photography, and just left their cameras on overnight with presumably a motion sensor or something.
That's right.
And it was triggered probably by the deer entering the picture, because the deer is the focus of the photo. It's not
smiling.
It's not like some photos of video turned up and this strange creature or this cryptid has turned up and triggered the motion sensors. It's undeniable. I think the deer are the motion triggered. And it's this other creature just happens to be in the background.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's the fact sometimes it almost seems like it's looking at the deer to me as well.
Almost, yeah. It could be, if it is real, not so. When I say real, I mean it's not an entity. It's not free flowing. It could, if it is a real creature, it is possible that maybe it's a hunter. There's also an increased amount of UFO sightings at the moment around that area. So people are wondering if it's to do with that. It's possible. I don't know. Maybe aliens have come down.
So we could be looking at alien. We could be looking at a cryptid of some kind. Okay, we don't believe it's ethereal or otherwise ghosty. That's for sure. Now it does appear to be the photo certainly looks like a real thing. It doesn't have the vibe that a ghost or a spirit photo typically has.
Yeah, it doesn't look kind of spooky. You won't look at it and go, ooh. But you'll definitely be intrigued by it, I think is the best way to put it. Yeah.
It is certainly a weird looking photo. I mean, I don't know if there are chupacabra legends particularly around Pennsylvania or Mothman or anything like that. Nothing, I mean, there may be. I'm not an expert on American folklore, so there may be something like that, but there's nothing, when you say Pennsylvania, nothing particularly leaps out at me as being a cryptid or supernatural entity associated with the area. People seem generally confused. When I looked at it, my first, after the first initial reaction of, oh, that's kind of cool, was, my first reaction was it was simulacra, which is essentially a posh word for saying seeing shapes in the clouds. Is when you see it, it could have been a boulder or a bit of tree bark just caught in the flash or in the vision of a camera just right, and it looks like a creepy figure.
I mean, you've got to take that into consideration. I mean, I've said when we first started doing this, I'm not going to go, it's definitely something supernatural. It is completely possible it is that.
I mean, it's a very striking image. Even if it is, it's still a cool looking picture. I'm not trying to detract that from it. But my first instinct was it probably is simulcraft because sometimes it just looked a bit. There's something about it is a bit too perfect. I think there's no. I don't know what speed the shutter went off at, but there's no sense of motion blur or anything like that at all. But what the deer in the photo has a very strong focus to it. It's a very clear picture of the deer, and this thing is kind of blurry. Maybe it's because the camera did focus on the source of the movement. That's entirely understandable, but that's just so taken as this figure is blurry and the focus is on something else. So that's a possibility. The alternative is when I say it looks too good to be true, it does look quite CG. Heavy as well.
That's the only other thing. It does, it could possibly come out.
It could, if we were Mythbusters, we'd be stamping a plausible on this one, I think.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, it's a great picture. It's certainly a very striking picture, and it certainly wasn't what these guys were expecting to turn up in their photo album for their trip.
The information surrounding it is very, very vague. It's just picked up. There's no date. There's no time. There's no video footage, it's just the picture, the snapshot taken from the video.
I mean, in its favour, we have got that it's a very striking video, and it does just seems very natural. There's not a sense of it's posed as such or anything like that. But if we're looking at it more analytically, it's good. This photo does have a reason for being, because these guys were taking pictures of wildlife, but We've got no name attached to it. Peter Duffy is the name we've got attached to it. We don't know if he owns the photo, if he took the photo, if it was his camera, or just his YouTube account the compilation got uploaded up to. So there's no date, there's nothing like that, but it's still worth a look, this picture, if you get a chance. I'm sure if you look for a humanoid creature in northwest Pennsylvania, any search engine, Google, will take you through to that.
Don't Bing it.
Yeah, we'll take you through to that with no difficulty. So take a look at it, and as always, if you've... you take a look, get your thoughts on us, leave comments on the Facebook wall at facebook.com/LeeEnfield, or you can email it through to us at leeenfieldmagic@yahoo.co.uk.
Yahoo? I'm ashamed.
Who are you with?
AOL.
Oh, okay, you pay for yours.
I don't.
Yeah, I'd be used to. That's how old I am. I used to have a CompuServe address.
You used to have a dinosaur. Anyway, also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, well, it's not also in Pittsburgh, also in Pennsylvania, is the BEK sightings, which is amazing. It's the first time I've heard of this.
You're green.
I know. Black Eye Kids sighting. Basically, there's a couple, and this was, this sighting was from 2002. So why it's taken 10 years to get on the internet, I don't know. But whatever reason.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, this man and woman, they'd lived there for about a year or so at this time. His wife went to bed. About 15 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. But it's a continuous knock. Bit weird. Goes and answers the door, and there's a kid stood there in a grey hoodie with his hands in his pockets, which strikes me as weird because he's been knocking. And this is what confused me. He says he stares at the kid. And the kid says, "Let me in your house now." Obviously, and apparently the kid's about 10 years old. Very strange for a 10-year-old to say this. This man looks around the neighbourhood, sees if he's with any friends, looks back at the child, and all he notices are his black eyes. They're totally black. And he's saying that this kid looks malicious. He looks petrifying, and his tone is so cold. He gets scared. He shuts the door in the boy's face. Less than a minute later, his wife comes running out of the bedroom, saying that there's a child with black eyes staring at her through her bedroom window. The man obviously wants to protect his wife. He opens up the door, no one there. He runs round to look where the bedroom window is. There's no kid there. So either they move very fast, or no idea what's going on there. Something else that he thought was very weird. When he looked at the child's legs, it was as if they weren't there. It was as if they were faded out. And since then, they haven't had any more sightings.
Okay.
But that's all.
Black-eyed kids are weird. Black-eyed kids don't come up all that much. They are pretty much, as Sally just described, a haunting that. experience is very typical for an encounter with black-eyed kids is they appear suddenly. At first, they do take on the likeness of a relatively innocent-looking child, but very rapidly, the person who encounters them gets the hairs on the back of the neck start sticking up. They think something is odd, something is not right. Very often they're encountered in groups. 2 is quite a small group for black-eyed kids. They generally appear in larger groups than that. But they generally turn up, try and get entrance into either a car or a building or something, and they usually people panic and don't let them in, at which point the black-eyed children disappear very, very quickly indeed. So what we've got there is quite a typical black-eyed kid sighting. So you've not really encountered or come across black-eyed kids before?
No, the only thing I can think of is the gas mask kid from Doctor Who, in all honesty. So that's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
By the sound of it, it sounds like they're demonic. I mean,
you think demonic is the most likely cause?
My theory would be an entity, if it were to be proved real, there'd be an entity that just, for whatever reason, seeked hospitality. Obviously it can't get it becomes malicious to try and cause it, and that's possibly when it runs out of energy.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I mean, the most common, it could be demonic, but or demonic or an entity of some kind, but it doesn't seem to gel quite right for me. Black-eyed kids, I would be most strongly tempted to file alongside aliens and UFO sightings, because there's something about the way they interact, the way they try and mimic almost a human behaviour seems to fit in with some alien sightings like Greys or Saurians.
Well, the most common idea of what an alien looks like has got black eyes.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, they're not the same shape, but they are black eyes.
Greys have huge black eyes,
Exactly. Yeah. It's possible that when they start becoming malicious as such, it's actually just, perhaps it's a transformation. It sounds ridiculous, it's the only way I can describe it. The way they're wording it, it's possible, you see kids going home all the time, see kids going around to other kids' houses. It's possible that they've realised, obviously, if you're smaller, you're likely to be more vulnerable, you're likely to be accepted. So, woo, midgets. And on top of that, I'm presuming that, either they've heard or they're guessing. I guess it's like us trying to speak another language when you go on abroad, say to Spain, be there for a few days, and you can very badly ask for like a sandwich and a cup of tea. It's
like you say, it's an attempt at mimicry. Really, it is the vibe that black-eyed kids give off. But what is universal to black-eyed kids is always there's this sense of them trying to gain entry, whether it's to a car or a mobile home or a house or wherever. And people are genuinely quite terrified by them, possibly because they're so insistent, or everyone comments on this factor of there being something not quite right about them.
They're also, the reported age range is between 8 and 18. And to be honest, if I see a child about 6, I think they're a bit too young to go out, so I think about an 8-year-old is about right. And 18, obviously, you become an adult. So if it is mimicry, it's a very good job. Yeah. The grey hoodie is something that I like as well. The fact they're wearing grey hood, maybe they've made the skin look like a hoodie. Okay. So I'm a genius. The legs, though, this is what confuses me. The legs have faded. This guy was saying, he said that they just weren't there. They were fading, either fading or faded. Yeah. At the time, so I don't know. Is it possible they don't? If they are mimicking us, maybe they can't understand our movement, possibly. Or? Possibly,
that's very likely. Something about the grey hoods is unusual. There's something that recalled something to me is that a lot of people who claim to suffer from alien abductions get the sense of a hooded figure in their room or a grey hood. However, that is also a side effect of sleep paralysis. A very strong, and I've had people are totally on the level people who have suffered from sleep paralysis saying they will be like paralysed in the bed and get the feeling that there is someone in a hood at the end of the bed. And most causes of alien abduction get chalked up to, well, it was actually sleep paralysis because we have documentation of this. But it's interesting that you picked up on that hooded figure and we were both talking about that.
I'm a genius.
Yeah, that's why I love you.
Yeah. And now for the most scary, horrific story we will ever cover on this newscast.
Off you go.
This is the tale of a haunted piece of electronic device.
Right.
One that writes demonic messages into items with "Satan is here," or
So Satan lives. Your memory's
Satan
awful.
lives, yes. And sets fire to itself occasionally.
Yeah.
Bit of an emo. This is the case of the haunted toaster.
It's an old video clip from 1984 on the Today Show in America, where this woman, I'll leave the adjectives out of it. This woman claims to have a haunted toaster that speaks in the devil's voice. She has a piece.
I quote, "I am the devil."
Yeah. Presumably talking like Woody Harrelson, and she has kept a piece of toast which has, well, it's not got Satan Lives burnt into it, it's a reverse, isn't it? Satan Lives is carved into a burnt piece of toast.
I'm pretty sure everyone here has at least burnt toast at least once, so you try and scrape it off. Oh, everyone does it.
We don't want to condescend to you or anything, listeners, but we think you might have burnt toast at some point in your life.
Alright, I've burnt toast at some point in my life,
Excellent.
and I tried to scrape it off because I've heard that's what you do.
Yeah.
What I did instead was manage to pretty much get underneath and just peel off the top layer.
Right.
So I ended up with like a hollow piece of toast, but when you do that, you get the white inside, which is pretty much what Satan has done to this piece of toast. He's kind of gone, that would look really cool with some white writing in it, and managed to write in Satan Lives.
Yeah.
But this woman genuinely seems upset, and the presenter, how he's done this like without laughing here is amazing.
Oh, he should. Wow, yeah,
whoever you
are, wow.
But he asked her to put some toast into, some bread into the toaster even. She goes, "Oh, okay." This is my worst Texas accent ever.
It's good.
And she apparently you can only put one piece of toast in. It doesn't like more than one piece of bread at a time. It's very, very specific. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe devil doesn't come through.
No, I don't know. Maybe he only wants bagels.
He only likes light breakfast. And she tries to put it in, and she can't press it down. She goes, "Oh, it knows something about it's ready or something."
Yeah.
And it takes like both hands to push down the damn lever to put the bread in. And literally within like a few seconds, it just bursts into flames.
Yeah, there's like a gout of flame about 18 inches high,
yes.
I reckon, maybe 2 feet even,
and it just
shoots straight out of the toaster.
And that's like the end of the video.
Yeah.
Then it goes back to newsroom where they're just pissing themselves laughing at it. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Okay.
This woman seems quite
This is
horrified.
Sally, sceptical about everything Morgue'n, isn't sure about the haunted toaster.
No, I'm not sure about not how they've done it. I'm not that much of a retard. Don't say anything. It just seems... I know, she seems genuinely horrified by this. Otherwise, she might have the most evil husband in the world and think, you know, fuck my wife up today if I pretended that toaster had the devil in it. Which is the most amazing prank I've ever heard of, in all honesty.
I like the logical fallacy which says to them that if the devil was real, and he may be, and if I was the devil, and I'm not saying that I am, I'm not sure I'd haunt a toaster.
I totally would.
You would?
I love toast. And crumpets. Some good crumpets. What's wrong with that?
So if you were, you know, Azrael the fallen angel come back to try and claim
I'd probably pick
for
something
his
a bit
own,
more interesting.
you would probably pick, let's be honest, a thermonuclear warhead.
No, I'd
or
probably
a central
pick...
processing unit in Area 51.
No, I think I'd enjoy myself.
A toaster in Alabama does not offer quite the same...
Oh, was that Alabama?
I don't know.
Presuming here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'd probably go... I don't know. I mean, ghosts and entities and Satan apparently haunts everything. I mean, it's been... I mean, the amount of times you see the toast that looks like Jesus... I mean, it's possible.
We're back to simulacra again, which is what I mentioned about the chupacabra, as people see shapes in things that aren't me. I've seen, someone showed me Hitler in a pork scratching once. Yeah, it's fair if you squint hard enough.
I'm loving the fact that he did that and Jewish people don't eat
pork.
Really sorry there, but I just love that little bit of... I don't love it, I'm going to stop talking.
Well,
I'm
maybe,
very sorry.
If the devil is real, maybe that's what he did to Hitler, is he made him appear in pork snacks forever.
Who would that upset?
Everyone.
People who eat pork scratch. They are amazing.
Jewish people who eat pork scratch.
Wait.
Yeah. Meanwhile.
I mean, Jesus has appeared in toast.
Yes.
He's appeared in a dog's butt.
So maybe the devil is possessing this toaster to prevent any images of Jesus appearing in the toast.
In which case...
From this particular Russell Hobbs appliance.
In which case, what is haunting, or what is possessing this toaster that's making Jesus toast?
Oh, okay, so...
Would God really be bothered to spend his time, if he exists, I'm not saying he doesn't, because he might do, would he spend his time going, I'm going to make myself some toast? Son, do you want... I know what I'll do. I know, it's his birthday, I'll make him a present. Makes a bit of toast that looks like him. I doubt very much...
See, that would horrify me, toast in my own image.
But you're not Jesus. Or Satan, so it's fine.
I'm not saying that I'm not.
Also, Satan has really good English and can write really, really damn well.
Yeah, well, you say really, really damn well. I think you mean with all the skill of a housewife and a butter knife. Yeah.
It's not possibly the worst I've...
Oh, no, I've seen worse on You've Been Framed.
Yep.
But it's... I mean, it's a great piece of villain news. It's a great piece of visual comedy, but there's no doubt in my mind that there's absolutely nothing supernatural.
But it is on YouTube.
There. I mean, there's too much. There's. I mean, I'm trying with the utmost conviction, professionalism, and effort here to try and play devil's advocate. But there is no way I can take the haunted toaster seriously, or even pretend to.
It does remind me, there is a video, it's been on a couple of the documentaries, and it's the idea that basically they found the devil in a mirror. And this, basically it's like someone's got a mirror and they're showing it in the camera to show that every now and then the devil's face appears. And there is no face that appears. However, there is also a video that normally follows it to do with it, which basically there's meant to be a ball of light come from something that apparently the devil has possessed, and it goes up on the wall, and all the people stare at it, which is brilliant until you realise that the ball is in place A, first person's looking at place B, which is about 3 inches to one side, next person's looking about 4 inches the other side, one guy's looking at the totally wrong wall and pointing at it, which says to me, if they can't get that right, why would anyone, I'm just saying, there's a lot of fake things about possession and about the devil existing in these kind of ways. Yeah,
the as far as haunted toaster goes, anyone can say that the devil was talking to them through their toaster. The burnt toast with the lettering unburnt is very suspicious to me, because it would make a lot more sense.
The other way?
Be the other way around. Yeah, a plain piece of bread with something that's burnt into it makes a lot more sense thematically, aesthetically, and logically. And finally, as for the gout of flame shooting out the top of the toaster, working as a magician, I could replicate that very, very easily indeed. There's no paranormal there for me at all, but if you're on a computer or a phone or a tablet or anything, please do yourself a favour of looking up the haunted toaster on YouTube.
So I think we're going to have to start having the paranormal scale. On a scale
paranormal scale, I like it.
So on a scale of Pac-Man ghosts to seeing a ghost jump out in front of you, where does this sit on the scale?
It's
between
less...
Pac-Man ghost and ghost in front of you.
Well,
Cage, for example.
If anything... Okay, well, I have seen ghosts a few times... Yeah, and with that, if we set an actual manifestation is a 10, that's fine. If we say that the ghosts from Pac-Man are the lowest possible scale...
About a 0.5.
A 1 is a Pac-Man ghost, then I would have to argue the entire foundation of the scale and say that I found the haunted toaster less convincing than the ghosts in Pac-Man.
See, No, because there have been cartoons and films of the Pac-Man ghost. I doubt that would have happened with the haunted toaster.
There's a possessed toaster in Ghostbusters too.
Maybe that's
it's
where
a
she
film
got her idea
from the 90s.
I've only seen the first one. I've only seen half an hour.
Oh!
I don't like
Get thee to a nunnery. That's
like those films.
Look forward to the next show when I will have strapped her to a chair and forced her to watch both Ghostbusters
I've
movies.
seen Paranormal Activity, and you know what? I enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're fired.
I love it.
I
like that idea.
Awful.
Well, no, I'm sorry, but that is the kind of thing that it's that kind of footage that has shown us the strange creature in Pennsylvania, It's the same kind of film. Obviously, that's a film, that's an actual image. Same kind of thing. If they can pick up on that, you know, I had a really good point, and the look you're giving me says no.
You had a really good point up until you said you liked Paranormal Activity, at which point everything you said became suspect. Because Paranormal Activity is a perfect example of how not to make a film. I can't even look at you right now.
It's paranormal, isn't it? Isn't that good enough?
Oh yeah, it's a perpetual dick-ass of a ghost in Paranormal Activity.
If you haven't watched it, please do.
No.
No, I think you have to. No, if you're into the paranormal, you have to watch it to see what a ghost would never do. Not a ghost, an entity. What an entity would never do. You have to watch it for that, if nothing else. Just so you go, you know, it's kind of that moment where you read all the stories online of, oh, then I turned around and they'd made origami out of my cups and shit like that. Fun. But who was fun indeed. Creepypasta.com, you'll love it. But yeah, you know, like, oh, they made origami out of my chairs and cups. They made a swan out of a table. Mind,
but this year I have shown you Poltergeist, Steven Spielberg's Poltergeist.
Wasn't that good?
What?
It was amazing. No, it was fantastic.
And William Friedkin's The Exorcist.
Yes. All good films. You should watch it. If you haven't watched them, why are you listening to this?
Yeah. Well, you hadn't seen them if it weren't for me.
I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you.
You've seen like 8 films.
It's in the Harry Potter series.
That's 8.
First Twilight film. Toy Story 1, 2 and 3.
You're going down... I'm not Toy Story fan. I've not seen The Lion King, I suppose.
I'm not going to sing the whole thing.
You could if you wanted to, though. And
maybe
that's the point.
We can watch that as part of our research. Please agree with me here.
The Lion King, I will take your word for it.
There is a ghost in it.
Okay, I will watch The Lion King.
Yeah, you hear that, people. We're going to be doing a review next week.
Okay.
Need to dig it up.
We do Lion King.
Yep.
And Insidious.
Brilliant.
And that's a double bill. I think everyone can get
If you have any film suggestions, any ideas at all,
yeah.
You heard the links earlier on, just listen to them.
Maybe next time we can do Mulan and Cannibal Holocaust.
I fucking love Mulan, don't mock
I fucking love Cannibal Holocaust.
Well, you would. Also, do not forget, guys, we are doing a Ghost Walk this Tuesday coming the 20th.
Tuesday, 20th of November, with Shadows of Rochester Ghost Walk. We'll meet from 7:30 outside of Rochester train station.
Come play with us, spooks and gooks.
Yeah, we'll take you for a walk around the most haunted locations in Rochester and tell you all the strange and spooky stories that happen around there. Tickets are just £9 each for an 80-minute tour. They're available from LeeEnfieldEntertainment.com or WeGotTickets.com/LeeEnfield. And you can pay on the night as well, but spaces do sell out, so book in advance if you can.
Just one query. Where's my name?
Have you got a website?
No.
We'll change the URL. We should get a Paranormalcast site anyway, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We need you guys to let other people know so we can do it.
Yeah, if you enjoy my podcast, please do let people know, because otherwise we're just 2 nut jobs sitting in my spare bedroom talking to the iPad.
On a sofa.
On a sofa bed.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't have told you that, because you probably thought we had a huge high-tech setup.
Oh, we totally do, but it's in a spare room with a sofa bed.
We do have a high-tech, full studio
microphone.
Setup. We're just...
Microphones.
We're doing laundry right now, okay? So we're using the iPad in the spare room.
Totally how it works.
Anyway, this has been the Paranormalcast. It's been a fun show, quite a light one, but we had a haunted toaster to talk about. There was no way it was ever going to be anything but. Hopefully we'll see some of you at the Shadows of Rochester Ghost Walk. Again, is on Tuesday the 20th of November. Check out LeeEnfieldEntertainment.com for all the info on that. And hopefully we'll catch you guys again next week for Paranormalcast. I've been Lee Enfield.
And I'm Sally Morgue'n.
Bye.
Bye.